Welcome back to Miniature Mashup, guys. I'd like to start today's episode by thanking everyone who's donated to my GoFundMe so far. Today I want to talk about / show off my modest collection of lead miniatures. These early miniatures are made out of white metal, an alloy which combines the strength of tin with the lightweight ease of lead. In 1993, many lead products were banned to protect children from consuming lead, which might lead to brain damage. I say if your kid doesn't have the sense not to eat a Bloodthirster sandwich with a side of orcs, maybe the brain damage ship has already sailed for him. You might be asking, why would you want to buy old lead miniatures in the first place? The sculpts are dated, the material is both heavy and weak, many of them are the wrong scale, 25mm instead of 28, and many sellers are asking for collector's prices even after they've slopped half a gallon of Tester's enamel on them. So why do it? Why buy them? Well, for starters, the price. On average, I've spent about 33 cents for each of the miniatures you see here. Most of these I've bought secondhand off of someone who was just looking to dump their collection. And there are some neat old monster sculpts that aren't available anymore. There are unique characters that might fit the bill for PCs or NPCs, and there's some fodder characters that I've used to bulk out squads of troops. I have a bunch of these sets put out by good old TSR in 1984 and 1985, the Fighters, Spellcaster, and Thieves boxes. The sculpts are mostly hot garbage, but some of them are okay, and when painted they have a little bit of charm. This guy is clearly based off of a Clyde Caldwell painting, which is amazing in itself, since this may be the only dude Clyde Caldwell has ever painted. He really likes. I don't know how many of these sculpts are directly lifted from that great old TSR art, but I can't believe this is the only one. I've got these He-Man and the Masters of the Universe miniatures made by Grenadier, and they were released as part of a paint and play set. Now these three ladies are from RAFM in the 1980s, and they are a little blocky and cartoony, but the level of detail isn't bad, and they've got a lot of character and charm. Got Ralph Partha in the back here from the 70s and 80s. Not bad at all, well, certainly better sculpts than the TSR miniatures. Many of those smaller men and women are from the 1970s, and you can see how small the female warriors are. They're clearly part of the old 25mm line. The genies and the yetis in the back are quite nice. In the 1980s, Grenadier was ahead of the curve. The details are wonderful, the pose is exciting. This is some of my favorite old lead. I painted a ton of these up when I was starting out, and it shows. These really need to be stripped and redone. But Grenadier is probably my second favorite miniatures producer of the 80s. And my favorite, to no surprise, is going to be Citadel Miniatures. Just look at this box of Dungeons & Dragons monsters. They're just excellent. They're almost modern looking, up against anything modern, and it really matches up. GW was sort of the first to bring their own definitive style to bear on the product. They weren't following a trend, they were leading it. Lastly, let's just take a quick look at all the lead I couldn't identify for this video. In some of the instances, it's because I put a base on the model and I can't read the manufacturer and year anymore. For some of these, there just isn't any marking at all. I don't know what company makes these models. I think a lot of people who are only used to modern models might still be wondering, what's the appeal? Well, I enjoy painting older models because it connects me with the earlier years of my hobby in a way that nothing else can. When I hear the phrase Dungeons & Dragons, I don't think of my dumpy middle-aged self going to the local game store to roll dice once a month with a bunch of IT guys for 4 to 5 hours. When I hear the phrase Dungeons & Dragons, I immediately flash to my early 20s in a basement full of college kids eating pizza and killing trolls for 16 hours straight. These old lead miniatures with their low detail and weird proportions are part of that memory. They're not the best part of it, but they are the part of it that can still be enjoyed today. Even as the rules, the players, and myself change, there's still a place at the table for these little lumps of lead. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Please check us out and like us on Facebook, where you can see more pictures of these little lead miniatures. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, please consider donating to my GoFundMe campaign. I've got the links below for both of those. Hit the like button and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.